to the learning and teaching in schools. So there was rigorous planning to return to school, according to it was based on planning to measure the learning loss and propose the best strategies and corrective actions to deal with those learning loss during the pandemic. And also one of them, I mean, important also, I would say, actions that that was taken, and it's part of the continuous improvement process, is to continuously evaluate and assess those tools and solutions that was offered by the Ministry of Education for distance learning and e-learning, and to work closely with the related entities such as the National Center for E-Learning and Distance Learning, and analyze the current tools and evaluate the efficiency and assess their impact on the learning and teaching. So there was a set of strategies, policy making, and guidelines to actually ensure quality in teaching strategies and in learning design. Thank you.
Um, since we are highlighting the case of Madrasati or My School, the national K-12 platform, will you please share the services and functions of the platform?
Actually, it's as a learning management system, it's equipped with a range of services and tools that supports the teacher and the students in designing the best learning experience, hopefully for students, and also to design support and implement, I mean, supporting tools for parents and guardians to actually be able to monitor and follow up the performance of their, I mean, children and students. So it's actually designed where the teaching and learning is evolves around the student's learning experience and the student's journey, where the teacher, the student, the learning resources are all combined in one platform, and the teacher is equipped or enabled with the needed tools and services such as assessment tools, communication tools, collaboration tools, where they're able to conduct virtual classes with students and with also colleagues, reporting services and tools that helps teachers to monitor the performance of students. Also, it's integrated with the student information system, in which it enables teachers to access their students' informations and classes and scheduling and all these essential ingredients for the schools.
And it's the first platform, national platform, that unifies the efforts of parents as well, and teachers and students on just one platform, right?
Yes.
Okay. And how do you assure the engagement and utilization of all these beneficiaries towards this platform?
Actually, there was, I mean, a set of designed or planned dashboards that can be used both for monitoring the performance of students' attainments and outcomes, as well as to monitor the operation of the learning and the teaching as a whole. So there's performance dashboards, there is operational dashboards that can be used by teachers, by school administrators, by districts, administrators, and also by the Ministry of Education. So these will help to analyze and monitor the performance of students and their learning outcome and the attainment of their learning outcome, and also to propose and analyze, the best teaching and learning resources and strategies that can be applied. So I would say it's an important tool that will help to design learning paths suitable for students' needs in all across all levels of the K-12. Also, I think one of the important aspects that comes with a national level learning or I would say a learning management system is that it will have all the data for students. It will help decision makers, teachers, and educators to actually continuously evaluate the progress and the attainment of students and propose what works and what can be improved.
Okay. If you just allow me to ask you about the dashboard is used by directorates in Saudi Arabia as well as you mentioned the Minister of Education. What are these two beneficiaries are trying to measure?
As I said, I mean the most important thing to measure is actually the attainment of the learning outcomes of students. So I mean across all levels of the education, the K-12 education, there are usually a set of learning outcomes for the courses, for the level, and for the whole school, like such as an elementary or high school or middle school. So the idea here is that a school teacher will be able to assess the attainment of students' outcomes by using the different tools like the assignment tools, enabling or designing learning experience or learning paths based on the complete learning resources that is available also or made available to teachers through the Madrasati itself.
Thank you. Dr. Abdul Latif. As I said in the introduction about the Vision 2030 goals that helped this transformation, and as a director or the general supervisor of digital transformation and information security on the Ministry of Education, you were executing a 2 to 3 Vision 2030 goals. And in one semester, it was all shifted to a light speed delivery. Can you please share with us the digital setup that led to these resilient solutions?
Thank you, Haya. First of all, I'd like to thank the organizers for allowing us to talk about this experience, which we call Madrasati. This experience actually was only possible by the hard work of women and men in the ministry and within our partners. Some of them are here with us today, and the others are continuing to work in this mega project, as we call it. So, all my thanks to them, and in these situations that we're talking about, the real effort of the people would come up and go on the surface. For the Ministry of Education, actually, it wasn't an emergency effort that came up with Madrasati. There were some best efforts that were there on the ground, and they can be represented in multiple platforms and content that was there dedicated for digital education. The main issue with that effort is that it wasn't focused, and the strategy, or there was a lack of strategy, let's say it, in introducing these tools into the educational system. Therefore, at the beginning of this year, 2020, we had a strategy and a plan to consolidate all of this effort and rebuild it again with a strategy in hand that will allow us to use digital transformation not as a supporting tool, but as a core tool for transforming the education of Saudi Arabia. And that's why we started to work with a single platform that we called it at the beginning the National Unified Platform for Education, and that platform was intended to be launched in I think in the next year as our plans were done. But with COVID-19 coming to us, we deployed that platform in March last year, and hence it was dedicated to around 3 million students at that time. With the help of the other tools that we had, like the TV channel, satellite TV channels, and the KG platform. The trial that we launched at that time, we classified it to be successful with some enhancements that need to be done on the core of the platform and the whole system and the planning and the operation of the system. We worked this summer to work on these enhancements. We actually rebuilt the system in a way that can handle the around 7 to 8 million users expected for it between the students, parents, and teachers. And it was launched last September. Thanks God that the launch was very successful. As we're talking today, now students are accessing the platform. They're doing all their operation, their educational operations in a very seamless way. The technology behind this is the latest technology that is available right now. We worked with actually with cloud services for the fast time to market deployment, and currently we're working in continuous improvements on the services, and with the help of Dr. Rahud, of course, for the services and the technology used. For a single reason, actually, is that we're dedicating this to K to 12. K to 12, we don't have a reference model actually for the electronic education when it comes to it. Our goal actually is to not to make the digital education part or an assisted tool for education. No, it's going to be in the heart and core of the educational system with the help of everybody.
Good. So on March, it was the National Unified Platform.
Yes.
And then you unified the efforts and then come up with the brand new name.
It was branded to Madrasati. Yes.
Into Madrasati.
Yes.
And it was designed to be a core solution to the educational system, not as assisted as the...
It's not going to be just as it used to be as an assisted learning. No, it was designed to be actually working in all the models, electronic education model, talking about the blended mode or the distance mode. As we're speaking right now, we're using it as in a distance mode or an assisted mode as well, if it's if the educational business require that.
Yeah. Actually, this will lead to the next question, but before going to the next question, I just want to know the difference between the capacity of the National Unified Platform and Madrasati. Can you tell numbers?
Yeah, in the National Unified Platform, it was, as I told you, it was a trial. So it's we launched it to test the water, as they say. So it was around 3 million at that time. Currently, we're talking about more than, if I calculate all the stakeholders that we're working with, from 8 to 9 million users.
9 millions, 6 millions as the students, and 9 millions.
Students and the teachers, 500,000 with the faculty as well, and the parents are the rest.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So going to the question about the sustainability, you mentioned that the solution serves different models, assisted or blended or
Yeah.
full online. Can you please share if you have any plans to sustain these solutions?
Of course, our goal is sustainability. We didn't the Madrasati project or and the digital education project wasn't executed for the sake of covering the educational system or finding an alternative educational solution during the epidemic, but as a way to build a complete system that will help in transforming the educational system in Saudi Arabia, as I said before. So sustainability is one of our main goals when it comes to Madrasati. So the recipe for making a system sustainable is very simple. Make it easy to use, help people when they need help, and make it part of their daily routine. And this is the way to make any system sustainable. So, and this is the way that we're planning to make Madrasati sustainable. It have to be refreshed every now and then with new services, so it doesn't become boring. It have to have a very strong support ecosystem, and we did this already. We started with making the school the first line of support for everybody, for the students and for the teachers as well. And plus, with the schools, you have the call centers with around right now 600 active agents working 24/7, and as well providing a third level, very strong third level of support. The third thing is we're trying to put all the services there that will, in a way, that will make the Madrasati platform a way that will make the teachers and students' life easier. So, in a way or another, we're trying to provide the services that they know, educational services, in a way that they will say, hey, this is the easier way to do it than the way that you used to do it before. And that way you will, even in hopefully after the end of this COVID-19, they will ask for Madrasati to be part of the education system instead of it being there for them, the only way that they can do their education. So this is the way that we're planning to keep it sustained and keep Madrasati alive in the next years.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. You were just telling me before we started this panel that about your experience with making your solutions user friendly. And just last week, I think you launched the application.
Yeah.
Can you talk about it?
This is one of the ways that we are continuously monitoring the behavior of the students and making adjustments either to the services or to the way that we're delivering the services. One of the things that we were doing is that we noticed that 60% of the users are accessing the platform using their mobile phones. So we deploy. Although at the beginning we were saying that it have to be educational, have to be done on large screens. That this will make it healthy for the students. But we saw that 60% of the students are accessing using their mobile phone. This is why we launched last week a mobile version of the Madrasati with a mobile-friendly app and interface. And this is the way that you, as I told you, when you don't have a baseline or a model for the education to benchmark against, this is the way that you will do it. I don't want to say that it's trial and error, no, but it's monitoring the behavior of the students and building. Actually, what we're doing right now is building a baseline for all the educational system, and the LMS is dedicated for K to 12.
Yeah, I totally agree. Just Saudi Arabia is a young generation country. And as you said, you designed based on their preferences. And of course, young generation would prefer much easier solutions.
Yeah, and this is one of the key points that are making our life easier. We're dealing with a digital nation. It's making the adoption process very easy for us. It's harder when it comes to the parents, but when it comes to the kids, it's very easy for us to. But they're demanding more and more from us as we're going on, and actually. This is making the adoption the adaptation of digital education easier on the and it's giving us more opportunity to use or to adopt more education digital tools within the educational system. Of course, one more thing that I want to close with is when it comes to adaptation, and it's very important for us to put it into consideration. The involvement of the private sector is a key element when it comes to sustaining any of your products. Of course, everyone knows and everyone says that the private sector is always more innovative than the public sector, and this is a fact that you have to put into consideration when you're working with any system that you want to be sustained. You have to divide the roles in the public and the private sector. Private sector could produce products that will change the face of education, and the public sector have to be or have to take the role of the regulator and the let's say the guardian of the strategy. How are we going to do it? And this is why we have in our plans in the ministry to involve the private sector more in delivering digital education.
I totally agree. Private sector had a past relation with the Ministry of Education, where many companies and many national companies, like Tatweer companies, contributed to projects and change management and upskilling teachers' competencies. This actually will lead us to our private sector expert, Engineer Abdullah Tamimi. As we said, that the private sector is a major and important part. Can you talk about your experience as Tatweer Educational Technologies and implementing projects for the Ministry of Education?
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me this morning here. First of all, I would like to congratulate our government for holding and leading G20 for this year. As you said, Haya, yes, private sector assessed the public sectors, and we are as a company assisting the educational industry, looking at this as a big opportunity for us to work with the private and as well the public sectors. Let's go back a little bit to March 2020. And this is an amazing number. If 30% of the students working online before March, and after March, 100% working online. So this is a big shift, and we have to adopt this. So with our relation with the Ministry of Education, definitely we work close and providing solutions. And if we look at the history of the company started in 2017 with making or trying to making the change in the educational firm. By that time, we provided the learning management system to the public sectors, to the schools. This solution was over to around 4,000 schools, as well providing the equipments and infrastructure for around 2,000 schools. And by that time, all the laboratories for around 30,000 schools over the kingdom, we by that time, until we reach last year. Also, we provide another solution to the kindergarten. It's a virtual kindergarten app. Now we reach around 500,000 users on this app. There is other solutions. It might not belong to the online learning, so it might the time to talk about it. But let's move to the pandemic, and during this time we offered as well online training platforms. We trained around 20,000 teachers, as well with with our relations with the Ministry of Education. We provide on this platform the fundamentals for the volunteers worker, and around 14,000 teacher as well courses by during this pandemic. As well, we provide the solutions to our students. The solutions we call it Tahaddi. It's awareness, or providing them awareness about how to prevent themselves from this virus. This is shortly the what we did around this pandemic. Moving to the market, we see it's a big opportunities to the private sectors to jump on the stage and work, especially who working on the educational industry. If we look at some numbers, globally, spending on the educational solutions or technical or let's say tech around it's gradually increased yearly by 11%. So the estimation say it will be $330 billion on 2025. The number was 107 by 2015. So there is really a big increase in this fund. Also, it's growth 9 times since start of this from 2000 until now. As well, our government has been this is according to the Ministry of Investment. They allocate around 193 billion real for the educational during 2020. As well, the investment on the market in Saudi, the estimation says it's 38 billion real. So there is a big opportunities in Saudi. As well, Saudi Arabia covered around 80% of the funds around the over, or let's say, over the Gulf countries. As well, to look at it over the world, China spent or the investments in China around 50% globally, and in United Kingdom they reached 30%, and the rest of the countries coming after.
So, as we've seen that with the sustainable approach or strategy of Dr. Abdul Latif, they are really looking to attract private sector. What's your insights about the private sector readiness? I mean, your company did contributed in a mega projects,
Yeah.
but how about all the private sector companies?
Yeah, we see the challenge with our in our firm. So for us at Titco, me talk about what we did and this. Looking to the solutions is not an easy. By this time, there is many competitors around the world. Focusing is very important. So making or focusing on the students, focusing on the teachers, personalize the solutions on the students, on the teachers. We see the personalizations is not adopted on the educational solutions. If we look at the solutions provided by Amazon, for example, or Google, by using the technologies, it's all allocated about the person. But for the educationals, we didn't see this. So we trying to move or shift to this part, as well looking to the latest technologies in the to provide it to the educational, like using the virtual reality solutions, for example. And we really start on this. So we have a showroom at our company showing how we bring the solution to, I can say, from three different angles. The first one was on learning the learnings on the, for example, on the chemical or in the biologies, for example, to see how it works through the virtual reality. As well, we bring it to the healthcare. I can say healthcare institutes to the students and the nurses, as well to the doctors, to learn them the procedures to the procedures of the treatment on the hospitals. This is should be easy through the virtual realities, as well as through the augmented realities. As well, we provided to the safety industries for fire evacuations, for example, and emergency cases. So it's a place. No need to move the work to the dangers. So in the same place. So when we move them, for example, from the healthcare to the factories to the schools, As well, we bring the augmented reality applications, using this a solution over the book to see the three dimensions objects on the box, for example. This is one of the solutions we provide. As well, we have other solutions related to the robotics programming, and this we bring it in our showroom as well, and we if you look at this, the programming on the robotics, it's depend on the age of the users or or of the students. So we have solutions on this for let's say to the range of the age from 4 until 9 years. As well, we have another solution to the age from 9 until 20, and as well who in the higher education. It's not an easy, as I said, to bring solutions to all the ages. So you have to cascade and make sure the solutions relevant to the same age that you focusing on. There is other as well technologies promised like blockchain. So this is definitely will cut the cost as well the effort and the educational firm. Verifying the transcripts, the certificates should be easy through applying like these technologies. Other technologies as well, we bring it. What we did on Madrasati, for example, the chatbot solution that we bring it and it's used on Madrasati right now. It's a platform, easy platform, communicating the students as well the parents as well the teachers. So we providing around 20 million message to help the community. This is part of the what we show in our showroom. Reducing the gap between the K-12 and higher education is part of our as well solutions that we are looking for.
This actually leads to my last question before taking any comments and questions from the audience with us. Addressing the various beneficiaries. This will lead to you, Dr. Ahoud. We were just browsing the back to school website that has all the materials to help parents and teachers with even different needs, special education, KG. It's a platform for valuable materials and guides for the users to use Madrasati or My School platform, as well as using the AIN satellite channels and the KG virtual application. Will you just give us a small brief for 5 minutes before we take any questions and comments?
Thank you very much. Actually, the idea was to do a kind of complete like change management and provide a complete set of supporting tools to all users of Madrasati. And back to school was a central portal to provide different kinds of training materials, guiding materials that consisted of different videos, user guides, Also guides for parents on how to use the services offered to them as guardians, and for teachers, for schools administrators on how to use the different tools that's available in Madrasati to help them monitor and plan and execute their daily processes and administrative
if you allow me,
duties.
so Back to School is an introductory website for users of My School, the platform.
Yes, it's a training, awareness, central portal for, and I mean, the good thing is that it's got a complete set of infographics and a complete set of videos that targets all the tools or the services available in Madrasati. And also there's all kind of supporting material and training material and guides for students, for teachers, for student administration, schools administrators, for supervisors and for parents, as well as disabled children, and for the KG as well.
And how do you, this is part of the question, it's not on the second question. So how do you address the cybersecurity and the users' privacy and all the behaviors that might occur from the students towards this platform?
This is also was an important part of a change management to the to address the digital adoption and we tried to provide a complete set of also policies and digital training guidelines and policies for each user of Madrasati. So that was an important actually step to provide these kind of policies and regulations of how to use what's the right protocols and guides to participate and collaborate through this educational national platform. And this also was made available for teachers and for educators to convey and agree on these kind of policies, regulating policies, to ensure the correct and right use of the digital services and tools.
Thank you. We have one question for you to just brief about the learning path of the student or the teacher on the platform.
Okay. One of the, I think, dynamic, I would say, services is that offered by Madrasati is a tool that enables the teacher to design different learning paths for different students. We all know that students have different learning styles. They have different abilities. And having this kind of tool enables the teachers to design different learning paths with different learning material based on students' either capabilities and needs, as well as their progress in their curriculum and objectives.
Thank you. I think we're set with only one question. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your contribution to the education on these difficult times. It was my great honor to have this discussion with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Shukran.